I built my social media marketing agency to 7 figures, and here are the 15 softwares that I use to run that agency. I'll be honest, it'd be easy for me to just pay for 30 or 40 extra softwares because there are so many options out there. Like, I literally used to be so confused on which software I would choose, because for each software you choose, there's probably 3 to 4 alternatives at a minimum. So I'm going to explain to you the 15 softwares, what they do, and why I chose them. Now, a very, very important note is that my social media marketing agency primarily delivered content creation and social media management to our clients. So if you're running an agency that's email marketing or Facebook ads, there are certain softwares that I'm going to use that you won't need, and there's certain softwares that I don't have that you will need. The softwares need to make sense for your agency, and to be honest, a lot of these softwares are going to be very, very useful for you even if you don't have a social media marketing agency. If you run a coaching or consulting business like I do now, you'll be able to use a lot of these softwares in that exact business, as I still do. So let's hop into it. Let's waste no time. Software number 1 is Slack. This is where we communicate with team members, but also where we communicate with clients. So we have channels and groups internally for our team and channels and groups externally for clients. Before we used Slack, we primarily communicated on WhatsApp with our clients, which is good, but it's very informal. It also meant that a lot of our clients would literally just ring us, right? They would just call our phone number through WhatsApp, and that's not something we wanted. When we were building our agency, we wanted to build it to be a scalable company, not a freelance business where clients would call us at any hour of any day. By moving to a platform such as Slack, we removed that option. It also meant it could be way more organized. For example, when a client would join us, there would be 2 channels we would set up for the client. One for my team and the client management team. So that meant that we could organize very easily everything. Like, Slack is awesome. Let's pop up some screenshots of the features. You can even do reminders in Slack, so you can literally set yourself daily reminders. You can have daily workflows and automations. For example, we used to have a workflow that would send a message to all of our team members saying, hey, it's time to check in, write in what you did today. Software number 2 is Stripe. Probably heard it. Stripe collects payments, allows you to auto bill your clients. Super simple stuff, but very, very useful. I have looked at other payment processors. You have PayPal, you've got other softwares like Thrivecart. Stripe definitely seems to be the best, and Stripe is often the software that is used by many of these other payment solutions. For example, there might be a software that looks new and flashy, but it's actually just using Stripe. They've just made it look different on the front end. Number 3, Go Visually. This is a tool that allows you to upload content that is then sent to a client for approval. So I'm sure if you have an agency and you have clients, you can imagine you sending an image, whether that's an ad creative or a social media graphic or a video you've created, to a client, and then waiting for them to manually email you back saying, hey, change this, change that. That's just a waste. Like, literally, that is the biggest waste ever. Go Visually removes that completely. What it allows you to do is it allows you to have your designer upload the image. That then sends a notification to the client over here. Client then leaves feedback, and they can drag and drop and highlight things very easily, so they don't have to type out, ooh, change the top right corner. They just literally circle around the top right corner. That then notifies the designer, and the designer can then finish it and complete it. And all of that happens without you needing to connect the 2 people. So it means that you can connect designer to client without them knowing who each other is. That makes sense? That's why it's super useful. Software 4 is Zoom. Pretty simple. Host your calls. Why Zoom? It's more commonly used than Google Meets and Skype, so it just made sense. Software 5 is Calendly. Calendly is the tool we use to allow prospects and clients to book calls onto our calendar so that we are not going back and forth with clients or prospects saying, hey, does Thursday at 3 p.m. suit? We just say, boom, here's the link. Book it in. Again, there are tons of alternatives. I haven't really used any others, so Acuity Scheduling or Go High Level or other softwares that have calendars could also work. Software 6 is Active Campaign. This is what we use for our CRM to track our leads, from cold leads all the way to the hot leads, aka the businesses that are very likely to sign up with us very soon. But we also use this for email marketing. So I've used this in the coaching business and in the agency extensively. And if you study the industry, most people use Active Campaign. And when most people use a software, it tends to mean that it's pretty good. Especially for emails, one of the biggest struggles is if you have a big email list, making sure that your emails are landing in the correct inbox and they're not going to spam. So if everybody's using Active Campaign, that just signals to me that Active Campaign probably has good deliverability. Could be wrong on that, but it works for me. Software 7 is Later. Later is just a social media scheduling tool. Again, there are tons of alternatives. This is just something we've used for the longest time, so the pain, the cost of us switching to a new software, although we might save, let's say, $20 a month, it's not worth the emotional pain and the pain of switching our team over to a new software. And that's a side note, but just keep that in mind. If you were paying for a software and I've listed a cheaper software, it doesn't mean you should change, because oftentimes the time and energy you'll spend changing over could cost you more. Software 8 is Canva. If you run a content agency or an ad agency where you create ad creatives, I'm sure you use Canva. We didn't use this for the longest time, and we had all of our designers create everything in Photoshop, but to be honest, we got to a point where we realized a lot of what we're creating could be done in Canva with Canva Pro and with the right features. So we didn't switch everything over to Canva, but we switched probably 30% of our content to Canva, simply because of the collaboration that you can do in Canva. It just means it's easier for us to pick up on a design that a designer started last week but then didn't finish, and we can just pick it up in real time. Software 9 is Artlist. This is a music software, so we can get uncopyrighted music that we can use for YouTube videos, for TikToks, for Instagram Reels and other content. Again, tons of alternatives. This one just seemed pretty good. Software 10 is Freepick, similar to Artlist, but this is for images, and I think you can get some videos as well, just stock footage. Software 11 is Hubstaff. This is a really useful software if you have team members that are working on an hourly basis. So if I'm paying a graphic designer or a virtual assistant per hour, I can have them install Hubstaff on their PC, and this will take screenshots of their screen. I believe it's 3 times every 10 minutes, and it will track their activity. So for example, if a team member, and this has happened to me, I had a virtual assistant that was good, but when we actually looked at his work, he was doing 60 hours a week, but he was actually only working 40 hours a week. And we realized that there was literal hours where he would just have his laptop open on a Google Sheet, and he would just be flicking back and forth between YouTube videos. And then like the sheet would never change. He wouldn't do any work on the sheet. He would just watch the video for a minute, click back onto the sheet, click back onto the video, and just keep doing that. So yes, Hubstaff is a little invasive, but look at it this way. When you are being watched, you act differently, right? Like if you think that there's, a film crew following you around all day, you're gonna act in a certain way. You're probably gonna act in a better way to present yourself more positively to the world. But if you have nobody watching you, you're not going to care. You might be sitting on the couch in your boxers doing some work. So the big brother effect, it works. Number 12, ExpressVPN. This is really important if you run a social media management agency where you're logging into client accounts from different countries around the world. If you have your VA in the Philippines logging into your client in America, that could potentially cause an issue to both the clients, them thinking, oh, who's this person from the Philippines, or for the actual account itself. So I would recommend, if you're doing management or logging into different accounts for clients, to use a VPN. Software 13 is Zapier. I'm sure you've heard me speak about this before. It literally allows you to automate almost anything you can imagine in your business, connecting a Google Sheet to a Slack channel or a Google Sheet to your CRM. In my business, we automate over 10,000 tasks every single month. That means 10,000 tasks that someone would have had to manually complete are done through Zapier. I don't know if there's other tools that allow the same automation functions that Zapier has, but Zapier is by far the industry leader. Number 14, hang on with me, we're nearly there, is ClickFunnels. There's heated debates about ClickFunnels. Is it good? Is it worth the money? Look, it's easy. They've got a ton of templates and it works pretty good. So we have built out our agency website in ClickFunnels. We've built out order forms. We've had sales pages. We've had testimonial pages, upsell pages, onboarding flows, everything. Finally, this is more a platform than a software, but Upwork. At one stage, we had over 20 team members in my agency, and the vast majority of those team members came through Upwork. Now, I hear the same complaint all the time about Upwork. People think that you can't hire good quality team members through Upwork. Yes, you can. It's all about volume. If you post one job looking for a virtual assistant, there's a slim chance you're going to find an A player. You might get 10 people apply to the job and 5 of them are serious. However, post that same job 3 to 4 times a day, every single day for 2 weeks, and guess what? You will have hundreds of applicants. That's what it's all about volume. So those are the 15 main softwares. There are some other things that I use here and there, and I hope this has given you some context. Now, if you're just starting your agency for the first time, I don't want you to go and sign up for all of these softwares. You do need to be willing to invest in yourself and spend some money on your business, because if you will not spend $20 a month on a software, you probably ain't going to make it. But at the same time, keep it lean. Don't overcomplicate it. Use the free versions until you need to upgrade. Once you start making some money, pump the money back in and reinvest.